Ricky, as most of you would say to remember me by. I'm Lucille Ball, otherwise known as Lucy Ricardo in I Love Lucy, a top 1950s television show, in black and white, surprisingly. Television has changed since my day. Now in 2013, all televisions are colorful. I mean, how could I live in a life like that, with so much technology? Now, thanks to technology, I'm starred in black and white and color on hundreds of different channels, and people still watch me. And there are tablets, phones you can surf the web on, and portable computers. And also, did you know that computers used to fill up a whole room and your parents would use you as a remote control to get up and down to change the channel? You got some explaining to do about that. Fun fact, Ricky was actually my husband in real life. Now to the topic. Television in the 1950s was like radio in 2013. Had you sticks on top of the television called antenna or rabbit ears. They only found 3 channels, CBS, NBC, and ABC. I was starred on one, the best one, CBS. Television's technology actually started in the 1920s, but it wasn't until about 20 years later it was invented. And TV only took 10 very short years to land in 35 million households. After World War II, televisions began to replace radios in homes, which was about the 1945-1946 era. And in 1948, networks began to offer services that you had to pay for, just like nowadays. TV boomed rapidly in the U.S. And very surprisingly, it wasn't until about 20 years later that it was actually invented after it was thought of. Increasingly, Americans turned to television for pure entertainment, pop culture, news, and anything else that you can get on television then. TV's impact on Americans' life has been called the Golden Age, which was pretty ironic since everything was in black and white. Television's origins come from the Greek and Latin meanings to see far, which TV is the flow of immediate images. I'm going to break this down into decades for you, starting with the 1960s. In 1963, Americans had to hear about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. But thanks to news broadcasting, we got to know that Lyndon B. Johnson took his place as president. Now the 1970s. In 1971, the VCR was invented. Then, if you made plans or just had to go to work, you could still record your favorite episodes and watch them later. After a few years later, in 1976, the huge company Apple came to play. And then, they're the ones that are responsible for your super smart iPhones. Thanks, Apple. Later in 1977, the super company Microsoft came to play. I would hold up a fruit, but there is no fruit called Microsoft. They're the ones that own Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Publisher, and so many more. See there? 2 of the biggest names in technology, back after back years. But after all those happy years of technology, in 1977, Americans had to hear that Elvis Presley had died. But after that, in 1979, the remote control was invented. The downside was it was still connected to your television by wires, but at least you didn't have to get up to turn off your television or change the channel. Now the 80s. The big television channel MTV was first aired in 1981. Now all the teens, kids, and even adults could watch their favorite music. And here's a fun fact. The first video on MTV was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Bugles, which represented how television was coming in and radio was going out. Now to the last decade in the 1900s, the 1990s. In 1995, the DVD was invented. Yep, this donut-looking disc right here is called a DVD. I was surprised too. It can hold your home videos, your pictures, games, and pretty much anything else that you can put on your computer. At the end of 1999, there were just a few more than 100 channels that you could watch. But after 12 years, now 13 actually, there's way more than 5,000 channels. Just think of that. Here we are in the 2000s. In 2001, the first phone with internet was created. You could surf the web and view pictures, but it still was not smart enough to view video. But thankfully, in 2005, the first phone with videos and television was invented. This was one of them. This thing right here has an antenna on top, so you can watch any television that you want anywhere, but you still had to pay for it. I mean, how cool is that? Then in 2009, all television broadcasts switched from analog to digital. What that meant is that everyone either had to buy a converter box or a brand new TV. That stinks, but at least you could see something more clearly and see it better. Now in 2013, the technology is moving so fast that we can barely keep up. Now we can receive television on our phones, tablets, computers, and oh yeah, TVs. Signing out, Lucille Ball. How long was that?